Have you ever noticed that one simple question can make some English learners feel surprisingly nervous?
Which question are you talking about?
Can you tell me about your daily routine?
That's one of the most common English questions, yet many people suddenly forget everything they know.
Exactly. They might know hundreds of English words, but when someone asks about their day, they answer with only 3 short sentences.
Something like, I wake up, I work, I sleep.
That's right.
Grammatically, there's nothing wrong with that answer.
But it doesn't sound like a real conversation.
Imagine meeting someone for the first time.
You ask, "So, what's your typical day like?"
And they reply, I work.
Well, now what?
The conversation stops before it even begins.
Today, we're going to change that.
By the end of this episode, you'll be able to talk naturally about your morning, your work or studies, your evening, and even your weekend habits.
More importantly, you'll learn how to keep the conversation going instead of giving short answers.
We won't teach complicated grammar.
We won't ask you to memorize long paragraphs.
Instead, we'll show you how real people talk about their everyday lives.
Because that's exactly what English is for.
And don't worry if your daily routine feels ordinary.
Mine certainly does.
Really?
Absolutely. Yesterday, I spent 5 minutes looking for my phone.
Where was it?
In my hand.
That's impressive.
I'd like to call it multitasking.
I'd call it Monday.
Fair enough.
So grab a cup of coffee, relax, and let's talk about one of the most useful English topics you'll ever learn. Your daily routine.
Let's start with the easiest part of the day. The morning.
That's usually the first thing people ask about.
Right. Someone might say, "What time do you usually wake up?"
That's a simple question, but it's also a great opportunity to have a real conversation.
Instead of answering with just a time.
Exactly.
For example, if I ask you, "What time do you usually wake up?" What would you say?
I'd probably say, I usually wake up around 6:30. I like having a quiet morning, so I try not to rush.
I already have another question.
Go ahead.
What's the first thing you do after you wake up?
I open the curtains, drink a glass of water, and then make myself a cup of coffee.
So you're one of those people who actually enjoys mornings?
Most mornings, yes.
I'm not sure we can be friends anymore.
Why not?
My alarm clock and I have a difficult relationship.
Does it wake you up?
It tries.
What usually happens?
It rings. I press the snooze button. It rings again. I promise myself just 5 more minutes. Then somehow, 20 minutes disappear.
I think a lot of people can relate to that.
The strange part is that I always believe those 5 extra minutes will completely change my life.
Do they?
Not once.
That's the power of hope.
Eventually, I get out of bed, freshen up, and make breakfast.
What do you usually have?
On weekdays, I keep it simple. Usually some toast, eggs, or fruit with a cup of tea.
I'm very similar. A heavy breakfast makes me feel sleepy, so I prefer something light.
That's another useful expression. Something light.
Exactly. Native speakers often say, I usually have a light breakfast.
After breakfast, what do you do?
Before I start work, I spend a few minutes checking my schedule. It helps me organize my day and decide what's most important.
I really need to start doing that.
Why?
Because every morning I tell myself, today I'm going to be organized.
And then?
Then I remember I forgot to charge my phone.
That's not too bad.
Then I can't find my keys.
That happens.
Then I realize I'd left my lunch in the refrigerator.
Still manageable.
Then I discover I'm wearing 2 different socks.
Now your morning is becoming much more interesting.
That's the problem. I don't want interesting mornings. I want peaceful mornings.
The good news is that nobody has a perfect routine.
That's true.
Some mornings go exactly as planned.
And on other mornings, simply leaving the house on time feels like a huge achievement.
That's real life.
And that's exactly the kind of English people use every day. Honest, simple, and natural.
So, breakfast is over.
We've survived the alarm clock.
And hopefully we're wearing matching socks.
No promises.
The next part of the day is leaving home.
That's when people often ask questions like, how do you usually get to work? Or how long does your commute take?
Those are great conversation starters because everyone has a different routine.
Exactly. Some people drive.
Some take the bus or the train.
Others ride a bike.
And many people work from home now.
So, how do you usually start your workday?
I work from home most of the week, so I don't have a long commute. I simply walk into my home office, turn on my computer, and spend a few minutes planning my priorities.
That sounds convenient.
It is, but it also requires discipline. When your office is only a few steps away, it's easy to think, I'll start in 5 minutes.
5 minutes can become 30 minutes very quickly.
Exactly.
What
do you usually do?
Some mornings, I listen to English podcasts. Other days, I read a few pages of a book or simply enjoy looking out of the window.
That's a great habit. Instead of thinking, I have to travel, you think, I have time to learn.
It makes the journey feel much shorter.
Do you ever work during your commute?
Only if I really need to answer an important message. Otherwise, I prefer to keep that time for myself.
I like that idea. It's important to have a little space between home and work.
Speaking of work, what's the first thing you usually do when you begin?
I check my calendar and look at the 3 most important tasks for the day.
Only 3?
Yes.
Let me guess. You didn't finish all of them.
Not even close.
I've made the same mistake. A long to-do list looks productive, but sometimes it just feels overwhelming.
Exactly. Now I focus on the most important tasks first. If I finish those, everything else feels like a bonus.
That's a useful habit, not just for work, but for life in general.
What about you? What's the busiest part of your day?
Usually the morning. That's when I answer emails, attend meetings, and work on projects that need my full attention.
So you save easier tasks for later?
Most of the time, yes. By the afternoon, my energy starts to drop a little, so I prefer doing smaller jobs.
I think many listeners will recognize that feeling.
Definitely. We all have times when we feel more focused and times when we need a short break.
And that's perfectly normal.
Here's something I've learned over the years.
What's that?
A productive day doesn't mean being busy every minute.
I completely agree.
Sometimes the best thing you can do is stand up, stretch, grab a glass of water, and take a 5-minute break.
It's amazing how refreshed you feel afterward.
Exactly. A short break often helps you return with more energy and a clearer mind.
So, whether you're studying, working in an office, or working from home, remember this. It's not about having a perfect schedule.
It's about building small habits that help you enjoy your day and stay productive. We've talked about the morning and the workday.
Now, let's move to my favorite part of the day, the evening.
Mine too. That's when I finally feel like I can slow down.
What do you usually do after work?
The first thing I do is change into comfortable clothes. It's my way of telling my brain that the workday is over.
I do something similar.
That little break makes a big difference.
It really does. If I jump straight into another task, I still feel like I'm at work.
What about dinner? Do you cook every day?
Most days, yes. I enjoy cooking because it's relaxing.
I enjoy eating.
That's an important skill, too.
Cooking depends on how hungry I am. If I'm starving, I suddenly become very interested in simple recipes.
So, no 3-course meals on busy weekdays?
Definitely not. If a recipe starts with cook for 45 minutes, I quietly close it and look for something that takes 15.
I think many people can relate to that.
What's your favorite way to relax in the evening?
It depends on my mood. Sometimes I read a book. Sometimes I go for a short walk. Other evenings, I simply sit and chat with my family.
I like that answer because it's realistic.
Why?
Because not every evening is the same. Some English learners think they need one perfect answer.
But real life changes.
Exactly. That's why expressions like it depends, most days, and sometimes are so useful.
They make your English sound much more natural.
Speaking of weekends, are they very different from your weekdays?
A little. I usually wake up later and enjoy a slower morning.
Same here. I don't set an alarm unless I have somewhere to be.
Weekends are also when I catch up on things I didn't finish during the week.
Laundry?
Sometimes.
Grocery shopping?
Usually.
Cleaning the house?
Unfortunately, yes.
It's amazing how housework waits so patiently for the weekend.
It never seems to disappear on its own.
I've been waiting for my vacuum cleaner to become self-driving.
Has it happened yet?
Not yet. I think it's waiting for the next software update.
Let me know when it does.
I will.
Besides household chores, I also try to make time for hobbies.
That's important. What do you enjoy doing?
I like reading, listening to podcasts, and occasionally trying a new recipe.
I enjoy watching football, spending time with friends, and exploring new cafes around the city.
Those hobbies are great conversation topics.
Exactly. If someone asks, "What do you usually do on weekends?" don't just say, "I stay home."
Add 1 or 2 details.
For example,
That's much more interesting and gives the other person something to ask about.
the secret isn't having an exciting life.
It's learning to talk about your everyday life in an interesting way.
And that skill becomes easier every time you practice. We've talked about our daily routines, but here's something I've noticed.
What's that?
Some people answer a question perfectly,
and then the conversation suddenly dies.
I know exactly what you mean.
It usually sounds like this.
What time do you start work?
9.
End of conversation.
Exactly.
The answer is correct, but it doesn't invite another question.
So what's a better way?
Add one extra piece of information.
Let's compare them.
First answer. I start work at 9.
Perfectly correct.
Now listen to this. I usually start work at 9, but I like to arrive a little early so I can plan my day.
That sounds much more natural.
And now I have something to ask.
Such as?
Why do you like arriving early?
See? One extra detail keeps the conversation moving.
Let's try another example.
Go ahead.
I ask, what do you usually do after work?
Short answer. I go home.
Better answer?
I usually go straight home, make dinner, and then relax by reading or watching a documentary.
Now I can ask, what kind of documentaries do you like?
Exactly.
Conversations grow because people are curious.
Not because people give long speeches.
That's an important difference.
You don't need to talk for 5 minutes.
Just give the other person something to ask about.
Here's another situation.
Imagine we're meeting at a cafe.
I'll start. So, are you a morning person or a night person?
I'd say, definitely a morning person. I enjoy the quiet before the day gets busy.
Really? What do you usually do during that quiet time?
I make coffee, read for a few minutes, and plan my day.
I wish I were like that.
Why?
Because my brain doesn't fully wake up until I've had breakfast.
Mine needs coffee.
Mine needs coffee. And a friendly reminder that it's time to work.
I think many listeners can relate to that.
Your turn.
Okay, what do you usually do on weekends?
I like keeping my weekends flexible. If the weather is nice, I meet friends or spend time outdoors. If I'm tired, I stay home, watch a movie, and recharge for the week ahead.
That's a great answer.
Why?
Because it sounds real. You didn't pretend every weekend is exactly the same.
That's true.
Real conversations are full of words like usually, sometimes, often, and it depends.
Those little expressions make your English sound honest and natural.
Before we move on, here's a simple tip.
After you answer a question, ask one back.
For example,
I usually wake up at 6:30. What about you?
or
I normally cook dinner at home. Do you enjoy cooking?
that's one of the easiest ways to become a better conversationalist.
Remember, a good conversation isn't about saying everything.
It's about sharing ideas, asking questions, and showing genuine interest in the other person.
And that's a skill you can practice every single day.
We've had some fun talking about daily routines.
Now let's fix a few mistakes that many English learners make.
Don't worry, these mistakes are completely normal.
In fact, I made some of them myself when I was learning another language.
That's how we improve, one mistake at a time.
Here's our first sentence. I am waking up at 6 every day.
Can you spot the problem?
It sounds a little strange.
That's because we're talking about a habit.
And for habits, we normally use the simple present tense.
So the natural sentence is, I wake up at 6 every day.
Nice and simple.
Here's another one. I do my breakfast at 7.
That doesn't sound right.
Exactly. We don't say do breakfast
We usually say, I have breakfast.
or I eat breakfast.
Both are correct and very common.
Next example. I go to home after work.
I remember making that mistake.
A lot of learners do.
What's the correct version?
Simply, I go home after work.
No to.
Right. Think of home as the destination.
Here's another one. I sleep at 11.
Native speakers usually say, I go to bed at 11.
What's the difference?
Go to bed?
You might not fall asleep immediately.
Exactly.
So I could say, I go to bed at 11, but I usually fall asleep around 11:30.
Perfect.
Here's one more.
The word order is a little unusual.
A better sentence would be, I drink coffee every day.
Or, I usually drink coffee before work.
Frequency words like usually, often, and sometimes make your English sound much more natural.
Let's do a quick challenge.
We'll say the incorrect sentence.
You say the correct one.
Ready?
I do breakfast.
Correct answer, I have breakfast.
I go to home.
Correct answer, I go home.
I am waking up at 7 every day.
Correct answer, I wake up at 7 every day.
Great job.
If you recognized those mistakes, don't feel embarrassed.
Every English learner makes them at some point.
The important thing is noticing them.
Because once you notice a mistake,
It's much easier to avoid it the next time you speak.
remember, progress isn't about speaking perfectly.
It's about speaking a little better than yesterday. We've covered routines and corrected some common mistakes.
Now, let's learn a few expressions that native speakers use almost every day.
The best part is that you've probably heard them before.
Today, you'll learn how to use them naturally.
Our first expression is head out.
Instead of always saying, I leave the house, many people say, I head out.
For example, I usually head out for work at 8 o'clock.
Or, I need to head out in 10 minutes.
It sounds relaxed and conversational.
Here's another useful one. Grab a coffee.
Wait, grab?
It doesn't mean you steal someone's coffee.
Oh, that's good to know.
It simply means to get something quickly.
So I could say, I usually grab a coffee before work.
Exactly.
Or, let's grab a coffee after class.
That's something friends say all the time.
Our next expression is on the way.
This one is extremely common.
For example, I buy some fruit on the way home.
Or, I listened to today's podcast on the way to work.
Very natural.
Here's one you'll definitely use. Call it a day.
I love this expression.
It means to stop working because you finished enough for today.
So instead of saying, I'm finished working, I could say, I think I'll call it a day.
Exactly.
I usually say that around Friday evening.
I think many people do.
One more expression. Take it easy.
This can mean relax or don't work too hard.
So if my friend has had a busy day, I might say, take it easy this evening.
Perfect.
It's also a friendly way to say goodbye.
Exactly.
Let's put all of those expressions into one short story.
Great idea.
Here's how I might describe my day.
Go ahead.
I usually head out for work around 8. On the way, I often grab a coffee from a small cafe near the station. After finishing work, I usually call it a day around 6 and head home. In the evening, I try to take it easy by reading a book or watching a football match.
Did you notice something?
None of those expressions sounded difficult.
That's because natural English isn't about using complicated vocabulary.
It's about using common expressions confidently.
Here's a simple challenge.
Tomorrow, try using just one of today's expressions in a real conversation.
Maybe you'll tell a colleague, "I'm going to grab a coffee."
Or you might message a friend, "I've just called it a day."
Small expressions like these make your English sound smoother and more natural.
And the more often you use them, the more automatic they become.
Before we move on, remember one thing.
Don't try to learn 50 new expressions today.
Learn 4 or 5,
Use them in real conversations.
and they'll soon become part of your everyday English. We've reached our favorite part of the episode.
Because now it's your turn to speak.
Don't worry about making mistakes.
The goal isn't perfection.
The goal is confidence.
Let's do a quick speaking challenge together.
Imagine we've just met, and I'm going to ask you a few simple questions.
After each question, pause the podcast and answer in your own words.
Ready?
Here we go.
What time do you usually wake up?
What's the first thing you do in the morning?
How do you usually get to work or school?
What do you normally do during your lunch break?
How do you usually relax in the evening?
What do you like to do on weekends?
Excellent.
Now, let's make it a little more challenging.
Try answering each question with at least 3 sentences.
Start with the main answer.
Then, add one detail.
Finally, explain why or how often.
For example,
I usually wake up at 6:30. I like getting up early because my mornings are quiet. It helps me start the day feeling relaxed.
that's exactly how real conversations sound.
Here's your challenge for this week.
Spend 2 minutes every day talking about your daily routine in English.
Don't read from a note.
Don't memorize a script.
Just imagine you're talking to a friend.
After a few days, you'll notice something surprising
You'll spend less time translating.
and more time simply speaking.
And that's when real confidence begins. It's hard to believe we've already reached the end of today's episode.
We started with one simple question. Tell me about your daily routine.
And along the way, we learned that even the simplest topics can lead to meaningful conversations.
Today, you practice talking about your morning,
Your work or school routine.
your evenings, and weekends.
And you learned expressions that native speakers use every day.
Most importantly, we hope you discovered that you don't need difficult vocabulary to sound natural.
Clear, simple English is often the most effective English.
Before we go, here's one final challenge.
Within the next 24 hours, have a 1-minute conversation in English about your daily routine.
You can talk to a friend
A language partner.
or even practice by speaking to yourself.
The important thing is to speak out loud.
Every conversation makes you a little more confident.
And every small step brings you closer to speaking English naturally.
If you enjoyed today's episode, we'd love to hear from you.
Leave a comment telling us one new expression you learned
and one habit from your daily routine.
We read your comments, and they often inspire future episodes.
If this episode helped you, share it with someone who's learning English too.
Learning is always more enjoyable when we do it together.
Thank you for spending part of your day with us.
Until next time,
Keep practicing
keep smiling.
and keep speaking English with confidence.
Bye for now.
See you in the next episode.